Good evening. Um, so I had to take a little break and recalibrate. I'm just having some peach ginger lemon tea with just a little bit of dandelion root. It's good for vitamin C and K and many other things. Thinking that I should have eaten dandelions when I was a child instead of putting them on the top of someone's hand and making a joke of it for those who remember that. And always equipped with a banana for some reason. With all this medication, you just need something to hold you off for the rest of the night, because I take a very large dose in the evening, so I'm always well prepared. But this time, I went on a new endeavor. I made that phone call. I was interested in doing this for quite some time and just couldn't move forward with it. And after these 2 weeks of being a little bit of, fragmentation going on in there and addressing issues that were low vibrational, I needed to just make myself and force myself to snap out of that. And so I contacted Fran at the EE system through Unifyd Healing to take that leap. And so upon entering the facility, I was a bit scattered. I admit it. Don't we all get that way? And we need to reset. It could be your environment. Oh my gosh, I miss the beach. It could be your food intake. Not enough water, clean water, spring water, alkaline water, which I purchased before my visit, which was like a 9.5 plus. You want to at least have your body in a 7. That pH balance is very important. And, for those who only thought it was a commercial, it's for real. And so I took a 2-hour slot, and you want to use 2 hours plus, possibly 3 if you'd like. I took the 2. When I entered the building, there was an immediate sense of being home. Almost as if I reunited when I was a child in a home that was in Long Island, that just felt so wonderful to enter, as if I was reuniting with this past feeling that was just calm. And so I was a little bit chatty in that moment. And Fran was very calming, patient. She didn't even know that her presence was healing enough. I could have left just then. So Fran guided me through what the process was, how you were to take off your shoes, enter the space quietly. There was a restroom to use. You may want to use that beforehand to detoxify a bit. I'm just remembering how I felt in the moment. And I put my hat on, my sweatshirt, something cozy, comfortable, even my neuropathy socks, Christine, chosen quite directly for the moment that I needed them. It was dark but lit. There were about 3 to 4 towers that emitted a light and color pattern from the screens, and they were subsequent above each other that had the same pattern. It fluctuated a bit, if you could just watch the waves on the screen. And it was a tall tower. Also in front of me, a screen with an ever-changing scenic display of a landscape that I got caught up in the very beginning. I asked Fran to move the seat in front of me down so I can view it, so I can just ease off into where I needed to be. Not that hard, but hard coming from the outside and then stepping into that space and being like, well, this is what I exactly needed. Upon entering the room and the darkness and the towers, I laid in a very comfortable meshy type chair that reclined back, and you had your legs at a 45 with your feet up a bit. You can also position it forward and back if you'd like. Of course, remember upon entering, there were other individuals. Just 1 second entered, I didn't even know, because it's so quiet and so tiptoe respectively in that space that it's known that people are there to meditate and quiet for the time that's spent there. I do have to say that I wanted to stay there for a very long time, longer than I put in for. If you could just imagine yourself. Oh, and she did ask, Christine, would you like a blanket? My hearing is always off. I said yes. It was this fuzzy, like soft, just big blanket she put over me, and I just like snugged up, put my hands here. At first, here. You want to touch your heart, and you want to tell your organs it's okay. So I was here. Felt as if I cocooned myself in a space that was just so encompassing with love that it just completely had me surrender. The night before, I set intentions to move forward with this process the next day of what exactly I wanted to create in my visions, in my manifestations, and really just comforting my organs, sometimes rubbing this side here. In order to sit there and either meditate, close your eyes, and at times I would just stare off into that screen of colors. 2 hours. I don't know at what point that I fell asleep. I don't even know if I was sleeping, but I woke up to Fran next to me, and she didn't want to disturb me. I may have went over in time. I said, Fran, please, I can't hear that well. Just next time a little, you're allowed to touch me. Fran's personality was so warming and grounded that I was thinking, my gosh, is it because she's here all the time? Because her and her husband have opened up this healing center and they're exposed more than others? Oh my gosh. But when I came out, I was less chatty and more grounded. I was able to be confident in just speaking so fluidly with Fran. Afterwards, we sat at a little desk. The space is quite amazing, clean. And when I went in, there was already water that was charged that she offered me. And also the water that I brought in to be charged and brought home with me, so I can take it in small doses as long as it lasts. I think as a patient, that many just expect to take a handful of medicine and say, hey, I don't know if it's working. Is it working? Give me another medication, and maybe one to combat that one, to actually enhance that one. I've been on them all. So I need to have the discussion that there needs to be a bridge on the gap between the medical field and the holistic field. Why is it so that we're condemned that we take medicine even though it keeps us alive? There's another aspect. Do you really need that medicine to move forward? Do you need other unconventional means of healing to help you get you along your way? Or solely the holistic way, which is just fine. Just make sure that you know what you're doing. You have the knowledge behind it, or the professional to guide you. For those who aren't aware, it's not my HIV that has soared to a sense and a platform of AIDS. Rough. I actually have that one under my belt. I'm undetectable and my CD4 count keeps rising. The only obstacle I have is what's called an opportunist infection, which could be lymphoma. I'm a little guarded with that one. And it can also be what I have and other things. My exclusively is what's called a MAC infection. MAC. And if I could pronounce it, macroavian bacterium. Let's not go that far. Just look up MAC. MAC is a bacteria that you can get from air, water, and soil. But because I only had about 1 or 2 CD4 cells, that I contracted this bacteria from having HIV and a low immune system. Normal people at like 500 is their CD4 count, can actually really quite surpass that and not even be affected by it. But when you're under 50, and as of last summer, I was at 49. I've been fighting this battle for years because I wasn't treated properly. And now that I've transmuted and transformed in many ways, that I've found the route that I want to take in my healing journey, and I want to share that with others, because if it works for me, then you can at least try it and see if it works for you. Just know my battle is a tremendous one, and this is quite the illusion. I'm most likely about 1/3 through my healing, and this bacteria has run rampant through my blood, my lymph nodes, and has infiltrated my organs. But just know that as a patient, I will make my medical team proud and will not disappoint my family or my daughter. And I will continue to push forward and strong, and also to break barriers in the medical world that will show people that you have to do your part as a patient. And seeking centers such as the EE system. You can go to Unifyd.com and you can locate a center near you, and they're popping up worldly, rampantly. People are opening them up, and I am so blessed to have one near me. So, wow, it's a long one. Take your time to heal yourself, but also know that there are other routes, other alternatives, and other people and things to help you along your path. You're never alone. Always make sure that as above, so below. Heal your body just by using your body as your defense and increase that power, because there's much power out there, such as, my gosh, 5G will do it, and there's much more going on than that. So take care of your body, have protection, use your crystals, drink some tea, some clean water, hydrate yourself, and plenty more regimens that I stick to, just so I can have a life here on the 3D plane, just not going anywhere, am I? That's all I have to say. Be well.